Good evening, all. Oh, I see we've got no. Oh, yes, we have. We've got some sound tonight. Just a quickie tonight. I hope everyone's okay. I'm sorry I haven't been around for a few days as I've been struggling in myself to get motivated and what have you. So basically, I've gone back to doing some creativity on my iPad, learning some new skills, and that's kind of made me feel better. Fortunately, that's something what I'll do every so often. I don't know whether anyone will join, but I'll probably just have 15 minutes on tonight. I've not had a chance to do any gardening because I can't get out and leave Mum unattended. So, I guess there's not going to be anyone here tonight. Anyway, that's basically what I wanted to say, that I'm still here, but I won't be always around each evening. I've been extremely tired these last, well, I'm going to say days, but it's been a lot longer. I don't know why I'm getting enough sleep. I think it's because I think it's mentally from doing a lot of thinking. But never mind. What else we got to say? Not a lot, I don't think. I had my allotment renewal paper came today. I thought there was going to be something attached mentioning about the state it's in, but there was not a mention at all. Just asked if I wanted to renew. So I'll just make a decision on that. Yeah. So I guess everyone who's on tonight is on the TV and they can't reply or they're a bit shy. I remember those times myself. I think it's only, when did I start doing my YouTubing? I know I've been on since 2007, but I suppose regular chats and that was from about 2011, I think. Basically came on, I was on, yeah, it was about then. So, has anyone got anything to say? It's a bit hard talking to yourself. Lady got into the garden again. Well, she was in the garden. I forgot about her again. And she dug up the one of the raised beds that I filled. I filled it with some fresh compost, manure, organic manure, and she'd gone in there. And but thankfully, I've got 2 oriental poppies in there, and they're still intact, so they'll still be alright for next year. So that's one good thing. The dahlias are flowering. I really need to get the garden sorted before bad weather and that comes. I need to get all the bottom tidied up. A lot of extra work's come through feeding the birds, but she'll have to think about something, a different way of doing it next year. Maybe have something on the ground, some black fabric or something underneath the feeders, or I don't know. Admittedly, when it's windy, it blows the feeders, and that means the food can go all over. So I guess we'll have to we'll have to figure that one out. It looks as though, because I've got 8 people online now, maybe for some reason unknown, you can't actually. We've got some activity. Hi Wayne. Hi Jan. I've just been talking to myself for the last 10 minutes. I'm just saying it's going to be a short one tonight. I explain why I've been quiet, and struggling with motivation, and I've been really tired. Oh, congratulations, Wayne. And thank you, Jan. Oh, it's because it's not long. Well, this afternoon it all got washed and I had a nice shower, so that's why the hair's looking. I didn't blow dry it, so this is how it naturally is. So I'm just waiting. Oh, here we are. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, I'm growing it a bit longer. I gave the fringe the fringes the fringe got trimmed by me today, so it's it's not all straight. I was trying to get the feathered look, so hopefully I've succeeded. Well, that sounds really good, Wayne, about the house. Biblical. You know, it's been such a hectic few days. You know, let me just double check. Check my emails. Biblical. Is it Finch 9724? Hi, UP Gardener. Ah, yes, I've got it. Yeah, your drawings. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. You got potential, but just remember, don't be put off if you can't actually get your proportions and things right. It might be that you are good on the colour side, so you could actually trace or project, or there's several different ways of getting the outline onto a canvas or card, and then you can use your pens, your paints, or whatever, and have fun from there. Hi, Paul. Hi, Pat. Don't be shy. Come and say hello. I'm excited for you, Wayne. Yeah, I've only actually moved home once in my life, but I can imagine how excited you must be. Right. Do I use charcoal? If I'm painting now, I tend to be using acrylics, and the way I do the background is with some tissue or some sponge, and I'll dab it, and that's how I get the background. Don't know whether my glasses are. Oh, that's why I couldn't see properly. They're a bit mistied up. Are you talking to me, Paul? If so, I've been drawing since a kid. I started. Well, I can remember getting my first Rotring technical pens when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I think it was 10 or 11. No, yeah, about 11. It was. I got introduced to them when I was at last year primary school. Then when I started secondary school, then the tutor got me into it, and I got my first pens then. And for the first few years, all I'd do is draw, and I wouldn't touch any paints. They frightened me. Thank you, Jan. And yeah, I didn't actually start painting until I was in the comprehensive school. And then it was about the second year in there, so I was about, I don't know, 15 years old. And but I still tried to stick with the pens and pencils. But I took my O level, and I squeezed through, but nothing great. But they saw the potential, and when I stayed on for the second year in the sixth form, I was told to go in for A level, and I did it. I started in the October on the course, and the exam was in May, and I passed. I find acrylics quite good, but there's also all sorts of different types. One which I quite got into was the Atelier ones, because you can actually rework them even after it's dried on the paper, or card, or canvas, and you can get some additives what will allow you to alter a painting a few months later. But I go through stages, and I haven't been able to get into the art just lately because of you need time, otherwise you're going to be wasting a lot of paint when it dries. Yes, they are, Jan. I was quite lucky that I got a good supply of stuff together now, which I've bought over a few years. And when I was doing some computer jobs and that, so, but yeah. I think one thing you need to kind of remember with acrylics, which I always forget, I always use them straight out the tube. I don't thin them down. But if you thin them down so they're a bit more like watercolour, then they're obviously going to go a lot further. And I agree about the garden ornaments. It's lovely to paint things like that, you know. And at the minute, I've been busy on the tablet, creating all these patterns and stuff, which hopefully one day I can either use as backgrounds for cards, or I could use them maybe on prints or canvas or whatever. They're different. Water, Jan, they're water based. So yeah, and but you can also get some additive to them, which will just like normal acrylics, you can get all sorts of things to alter the consistency, or to slow the drying, or to enable you to actually rework a painting up to a year in front. No, I'm just a novice, Wayne. Yeah. My advice is never say that you can't paint or draw, and because we all get blockages where we can't do anything, and if you just happen to have one of those when you're trying to do it, then you're just not going to succeed, and that will put you off. So you've just got to keep trying at different times, and eventually, hopefully, if you do a bit of reading so you know how to mix colours, that's the most important thing, then there's a possibility you can create something two-dimensionally or three. No, Jan, I've never painted on pebbles or rocks. This was something what Paula tried to get me into a couple of years ago, and I couldn't find any. I couldn't. I was going around garden centres looking for some what I could buy. I just couldn't find any in the area, so that's why I never got around to doing any. Because she introduced me to that, painting on the rocks when it wasn't even out over here. So I don't know whether, let's see, maybe, I don't know whether the stuff's, whether it's gone up now, what I've just, it might be on here. Look, because I created the work elsewhere. Well, oh yeah, it's all there. There are a few of what I've done today, designs, and they're all A4 in size. I think they're A4. Yeah, that'll give you an example. So I can rework these, touch them up, create further work from these pieces of what I've created. I know, but I know the beach would be nice, Jan, but it's too far away, and I haven't got anyone to cover for that length of time, or anyone to go with. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can. So there's all sorts of stuff what I've been busy working on. Sounds good, Homes and Gardens. Oh, thank you, Wayne. So you make garden ornaments, do you? I meant as a hobby. Oh. We had to have our gas fire taken off the gas supply I don't know when it was, about 3 or 4 years ago, because they said the chimney was blocked through cobwebs. So the gas fire is not connected anymore. Okay, I'll have to have a look, Wayne. Yeah, so it's because the gasifier, the only time it ever got used was once a year when they came to check it. Never used it, but it was there just in case. Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed it, Homes and Gardens. It was started off a bit iffy, but it's nice sometimes to talk about something what is close to your heart. Yeah, we looked into it on the line, and the gas people said, "Oh, it's probably going to cost you thousands. It's not worth bothering about." So that's why we had it disconnected. Well, Jan, the thing to remember about art is, although I always forget this myself, you don't need to produce a photographic image. If you wanted a photographic image, you could just take a photo. That's the way you got to think about it. So um, there's not really a bad piece of art. Oh, our stove is one of these. It's old, but it looks like new, and it's I think it's got the coal and that looks like coal. Oh, I'm glad you like that, Jan. Yeah, the thing to remember is that we all see things differently for our eyes, whether that be shapes or colours. Ah, it must be nice, Jan. Yeah, it is. It's very individual, and it also alters depending on your um, what's the word, on your mental state. If you're down in the dumps and fed up and what have you, sometimes you can actually create your best pieces of art like that when you're in that place. I've created one or two in the past when I've not been in a great place, and because I just didn't care and I loosened up, and there was one particular landscape I remember, and I had some. I just I was at evening class, not to learn to paint because I already knew it was just for the company, and that particular night I just splashed all the paint over for the skies, and and it came out really well, and I always remember that. Other times I've created other types of stuff, um, abstract and what have you. Hi, Paul. Yeah, that's quite true, Jan. You know, often if you're in a dark place, it can show in your work. But I also believe it sometimes it can give the opposite effect. You might be working more brighter than what you would, with brighter colours than what you would normally. I guess it affects everyone differently. There's so many different mediums in art, and you're probably not going to enjoy, or you're not going to succeed in them all. There's going to be something there which you'll fancy working with, and then you'll create your own style. I've never really got down to working with watercolour. And but it's something I'm going to look at mastering at some point. And I've been doing the digital equivalent, and I'll pass that on to the traditional ways at some point. Hi, what we got? Mr. Piano Lee. We're talking mostly about art today, painting. Hi, Connor. I'm not too bad. I've said at the beginning of the chat I've been tired, and I've been lacking motivation to do anything. So I've kind of took a few days, and I've been getting to grips with mastering the iPad, creating artwork on there, and just a bit of having fun, basically. Yeah, that's true, Paul. I used to enjoy a bit of woodwork when I was a kid. I used to make gerbil cages and stuff like that, and made quite a few. That was fun. Yes, it's come on a long way, creating art on an iPad. And some nice apps out there which are not a lot of money, and you can get the free version. And I've invested in a few different ones, and been enjoying it. And Paul, I understand about losing yourself for a few hours in your hobby. Yeah. It is a great new medium. I mean, I've dabbled for a few years, but I think and then it just didn't really appeal to me. But now things have moved on quite a bit, and it's quite fun to work with. I love that. Talking about woodwork, I love that smell of when you cut the wood. It's lovely. Favorite artist? Not really. I suppose not from the great masters and that. I mean, there was on the abstract side, the pattern side of what I do. There was Kandinsky and Georgia O'Keeffe, but I think the person who inspires me most is my friend Mary with her artwork. Bob Ross was brilliant. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, he was very inspiring. I had quite a few of his books and videos. Yes, she does do a lot of animal artwork. Oh yeah, and this little critter. Oh yeah, it was fun. Hi Ken, and hi Beth. Yeah, happy mistakes. Yeah. Yes, he was Paul. Yeah, he was brilliant. He created 31 series. I think it was 31. I have got some Bob Ross supplies, and I couldn't afford the a lot of the paints once I'd used the ones that I'd got cheaply off eBay. So I used another oil, but I haven't got the room to do that. It just needs more space. I can understand about Bob Ross's voice helping you to get to sleep. It's very soothing. Well, we can hope that it all happens, Connor. It would be nice. that's the plan, is to have a studio and that there. So yeah. He did pass away quite young, Jan. I think he was early 50s. Yes, it was not nice when he died. Can't remember what it was now, but I'm not sure whether he was 51 or 52. His son is a good artist. What was his name? Steve, was it? Yeah, I agree, Jan, because he was a guest on a few of his shows, and he wasn't the same. Yeah, I suppose he inspired me a lot. Right then, folks, I'm going to cut the chat short now. I said I was going to only be on for 15 minutes, and I've been on for 45. Perhaps we can carry on the art conversation another night. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that about talents, but yeah. I suppose I'm one of these unusual people who's got an interest in several different avenues, and get on well with them. Yeah, bye, Connor. Yeah, so we'll the next one we do. I'll tell you what are we on. We could have one. We could have one possibly tomorrow night, and we'll have it as creativity. That will be the topic. So it'll be between 7:30 when I come on. It depends on when the carers leave. There's no point in me starting while they're still here, because I need to settle my mum first. I'm going to have a nice evening. I'm doing all this artwork what I've created. I need to get that uploaded to all my different social and storage, cloud storage and that. So that's the next thing. And then I create it, then I actually take it through another process with another program or app or whatever, and create some further work. So it's quite interesting. thank you all. It was a lovely evening. So I'll say goodbye and hopefully see some of you tomorrow night. Okay.